Got my scythe here, fiddly things to sharpen these. There's a lot of debate about what the best sort of edge is to have on a scythe, whether razor edge or, assuming you can achieve one, or a rather coarse edge that has like saw-like action. I am not going to offer my opinion too much, but so I'm going to do some rough work here, very rough work. And yeah, to avoid cutting yourself if you can. Yeah, this is our wildflower meadow. Bit of a mess. I'm actually missing a handle on this one, rotted and perished away. I haven't replaced it yet, so I'm managing as I do. Somebody just posted on a video I put up some while ago about scything and asked if it could be used, a scythe could be used to deal with rough brambles and stuff. Well, you can get rid of quite a lot of stuff with it. A lot of it is down to the angle of the stroke and the kind of edge you put on it. I've got a load of apple tree rootstocks here. In fact, these are growing up. These are not usable. These are growing up from quite big stumps that were hacked down. This is a nasty weed here called ragwort. It's technically illegal to allow it to grow on your land because it's poisonous to horses if they eat it. We don't have any horses here. But I don't like to see it, so I'm just whopping this down. Yeah, as I've told a story before of this section of our land. This is about a quarter of an acre that got a bit neglected. We left it for years, we weren't sure what to do with it. Eventually I thought, I know what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to plant some peri pears here. We're going to plant them very widely spaced, and we're going to have a wildflower meadow in between. The idea is just a wildflower meadow. The idea is to allow the plants to set seed and then scythe them down. But I'm attacking sort of woody growths here that I don't want, brambles. Give you an idea so what a scythe will go through. That's about 6-7 millimeters, and that is, I think it's either sloe, that's a slow or blackthorn, or else it might be a sucker coming up from a wild cherry rootstock we had here. What I'm doing today, I'm going through here and selectively whacking down anything I don't want that's particularly harder stuff. Now this is cherry. We had a cherry tree here, it was cut down. We were growing on for somebody else who never wanted it in the end. This is just what the scythe can do. Again, give you an idea. This is a cherry, it's a hard wood, and that's what, how thick is that? 8mm. Scythe's gone through it without any difficulty. There's a bit of wild rose, thorn, there's some apple rootstock I don't want. That seems terribly wasteful. I'm sorry. We had some guys come last year, or was it the year before, and picked up, dug up, I helped them dig it up, a huge number of apple rootstocks which they took away. I didn't charge them anything. He gave me some cider. Those trees have been made use of, but what's growing here is just it's just a waste. It isn't worth the effort, really. Bit of thorn here. Again, this I think is some sloe or blackthorn. This is all stuff I don't want. It doesn't constitute part of our wildflower meadow. You can see I had a little fire here earlier in the winter. The key to, again, this needs to be picked up and burned. But yes, what the scythe can do. Ow! Ow! That's some blasted bramble. Eventually, I keep hacking this stuff down. There's some thorn coming up there, hawthorn. Eventually I keep hacking this down. Should get on top of it. It's a real pity I didn't get this properly harrowed and levelled early on. Very often a job that doesn't get done sometimes can make much more work in later years than it would have done if you'd done it right in the first place. But I guess everyone watching this would know that anyway. Knowing it and doing it, not the same thing. We had a fruit case down here once. We had a load of soft fruit, raspberries, gooseberries, all sorts. Again, the management often got too much. We bit off more than we could chew. We've always done that. Taking a relatively small bite with a scythe is often a good technique. You do want to stop and, whoops, you don't want to cut your head off as either. Bad idea. You stop and give a little edge every now and then. I think a slightly serrated edge, a rough edge rather than a really neat smooth razor edge is probably more to the point. There's a load of sloe over there that's gonna it's been neglected. It's going to need to be cut down by long-handled cloppers, long-handled cutters. I'm just dealing with some of what I can deal with today. Brambles. This grass actually could do with being felled really, because it's seeded, and you want to cut the tall. We're managing a wildflower meadow like this. The only crop is beauty and biodiversity, a reserve of butterflies and stuff and wild plants. So what you want to do is cut it down hard once the plants have seeded. And you can see this is raspberry here. This raspberry that's gone wild. It's no use to us. Raspberry always gets a virus after a few years. You need to replenish your beds of raspberry with new stock grown in an environment free from the virus. That usually means high altitudes, places like Scotland. Traditionally, you need beer to do this work. A lot of beer, weak beer. But frankly, blades and alcohol probably don't really mix. But it is very sweaty work. Get a picture. You can cut through some reasonably thick stuff with a scythe. Keep it short. Sorry, keep the edge sharp, and don't try to cut too much at once. If you're going, let's see if I can find a good example. If you're going to use your scythe to go through something reasonably thick, just go with one piece at a time, one or two pieces at a time. Don't try to cut a great swathe. Yeah, it's a reasonably thick bit. That's I think that's blackthorn. Whoop. Yeah, that'll do it. Reasonably thick compared to my little finger. It's gone through that in one. Again, you see the angle I'm cutting it. I'm not trying to hit it like that. I'm hitting it like this, slide it in, like this. That's the way to do it. So yeah, you can cut some reasonably tough stuff with a scythe, and it's a satisfying tool to use. It's tiring, it'll make you ache, but it's much nicer sound about anything else than a petrol strimmer, and I think it's as efficient as a petrol strimmer. Doesn't burn petrol, and it's probably no more dangerous. Now that was a stroke too far, maybe. Whoop, whoop. Yeah. There you are. Now that's it took 2 hits to go through that. Just putting that down carefully. Yeah, I think it's my little finger. So that sort of thing a scythe will go through if it's sharp enough and you use the right angle. It isn't so much putting a huge whack into it, it's not so much using a great deal of force as it is keeping your tool with the right edge and a controlled swing at the right angle, correct angle. I don't claim to be an expert, as ever. This is just me doing what I do. If you can find a better teacher, you should.